Hi, today I am going to show you how I use Claude to query my SQL database with natural language. Here are my environment settings. I am using Windows, an MS-SQL database, and Claude in the terminal. I have subscribed to the Claude Pro plan. I asked Claude, I want to query my local MS-SQL database using natural language. Can Claude help with that? Claude listed 3 options, and I chose the MCP server, which is the recommended approach. Then Claude listed 3 steps. The first step is to install the Python package MS-SQL-MCP-server. The second step is to configure Claude Code. Note: ignore Claude's default guidelines here. They didn't work in my Windows environment. After some troubleshooting, I got it working by placing the configuration in .claude.json in the project folder. I'll show the correct settings at the end. The final step is to restart Claude Code. I ran the command pip install MS-SQL-MCP-server. After installing the package, I received some warnings. I pasted the messages to Claude and asked it to verify that the package was installed successfully. Here is the correct configuration in my .claude.json file, located in the project folder. Make sure you have the ODBC driver for SQL Server installed. Also, prepare your database connection info. You can create a required-only SQL user for the MCP server for query purposes. I asked Claude, after I set up the MS-SQL_database in the configuration, in the future, can I ask Claude to query other database in the same server? The MS-SQL_database in the config is just the default database for the connection. Once connected, you can query other databases on the same server using fully qualified names. The MCP server won't restrict you to the configured database, as long as your SQL user has access to other databases. If you frequently query different databases, you can set up multiple MCP server in your config. For now, just pick your most used database as the default. You can always query otherdb.dbo.tablename when needed. I asked Claude, I have updated the MCP server configuration file. What to do next? Answer: just type /exit to exit Claude and restart Claude Code. But after I restart Claude and type /mcp, I didn't see MS-SQL grocery listed, so I can't enable it. I asked Claude to double-check the package installation, Claude configuration, and even the SQL server connection. The package installation is good, SQL server connection is good, but the Claude configuration was not right. Claude uses CLI command to add the MCP server at the end. I asked Claude, did you fix the content or the naming or whatever configuration files of the MCP server list? I checked with Claude what settings was wrong that MCP server is not correctly loaded previously. It says the configuration file should be in .claude.json and type stdio is required. After the fix, I typed /mcp and confirmed that the MS-SQL server was loaded correctly. I asked Claude, show me the tables in grocery MS-SQL database. It shows the query and asked me if it can proceed with the query. After I said yes, it shows all the tables in the database. I asked Claude, tell me how many users in the grocery database. It answered 71 users in the grocery database. I asked Claude, which user has most user recipes in grocery database? It checked the table structures first, then show me the query for proceed. To verify that the SQL user only has read-only permissions, I ran a test. Can you update the login time of user 123 to today? It replied. I don't have permission to update the user's table. The database connection is configured with read-only access, so update operations are denied. Just to share a glitch I encountered when setting up a SQL user account. After I created the SQL login, I encountered an error. User failed login, error 18,456. I resolved the issue by right-clicking on the server instance, selecting Properties, then choosing SQL Server and Windows Authentication Mode. Thanks for watching and leave your comments below.